LearningEngineer.com, where we engineer learning for efficiency. I'm your host, Michael Langdon, and today I'm going to quick demonstrate to you three different DOS-based utilities that you have in your Windows operating system that you can use to determine why your internet access is slow or make some diagnostics. So the first thing you want to do is click on the Start button, and you do have a command prompt here, but you can also get it here under Run, and if you just type CMD and click OK, that'll bring up a DOS box. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a utility that I like a lot. Oftentimes I'll have students ask me, why is the internet so slow? And usually they think it's because their computer is slow, or the computer they're using is slow, and it's not, it's that the internet is slow. So what I'll do is I'll go to their machine and type in Tracert and see exactly what's going on. And what Tracert does is it basically follows the path of the internet from where you are to the website that you entered. So what this does is it shows us any of the slowdowns in between our location and the website's location. So whereas your phone, if all circuits are busy, it either says all circuits are busy or you get a busy signal. The internet doesn't tell you anything unless you type in Tracert, and so that's what I'm doing. And so the first thing it does is it resolves LearningEngineer.com to an IP address, and then it sends it on its merry way. So you can see here that I've got the first one I've gone to 68281539, 93 seconds, 93 seconds, 98 seconds. It gives you three so that you can see that it's not just a fluke, or if one's super slow and one's super fast. So it goes down the list here, and you can see here there are some asterisks, and that means that this timed out. It took too long to go through this, and so then it had to retry again. And then it comes down here, and you can see that everything looks good because there's nothing here over about 200 milliseconds. Once you start to get over about 200 milliseconds, I would start to be a little concerned, because that's going to slow down your internet access quite a bit. And again, with these timeouts here, you can see that 68281539, 68281539, all of these top ones of a similar number are going to be all part of probably my internet service provider, since they're all similar. The ones below this, are part of the internet backbone. And so, but at least this would tell you where exactly the internet is slow, if it is slow. If it's slow down here, that means the website you're trying to get to could be down. If it's down here, it could mean that the website you're looking at or trying to get to is down, like on Black Monday. Or if it's up here, it could be a server used by Sprint is down. Or if it's up here, you want to call your internet service provider and say, hey, there's something wrong. So that's the first utility, Tracert. And the next utility I'm going to show you is called ipconfig. And it's a lot like the tools you can find in your control panel network connections, except that this is a little more, I think it's a little more in detail. And what it does is it brings up the configuration of all your networking stuff. So you can see here we have a host name. I have an Ethernet card that's not connected, so it's not providing really any information. Then I have a PPP, a Sprint mobile broadband connection. And this gives you all the description, the IP address, the subnet mask, the default gateway, and the DNS servers. Now if I type in ipconfig space, a slash, and a question mark, it will show me all the things that I can do with ipconfig. And one of them is I can renew everything. So I can renew the specific adapters if in case they're not working, or I had to change settings and those changes don't come about right away. This is probably one of the most difficult things with networking that I've had to work with. And that is basically that sometimes when you make changes in networking, you simply have to shut everything off on your PC and restart it completely. I mean, power off completely, because the changes don't always like this reset on networking. Why? I think it just has to do with the nature of how networking is set up on computers. The BIOS allows it to wake on LAN. So what you're running into is this where your networking never really gets shut off unless you completely power off the computer. But you can try to do it in ipconfig by simply, you could release first and then renew, or you could do any number of things. But generally the only ones I've used are all release and renew. And basically I use ipconfig if the networking connections in the control panel don't work. I'll use ipconfig. The next item is even better, and it's called netstat. And what netstat does is it shows you currently what's connected to the internet. And so here we have a protocol, TCP, Langdon, localhost, and established. Okay, so here's my local address, here's my foreign address, and you can see that this is actually my computer name. But if you look over here, you'll see that these are port numbers. And these port numbers are simply assigned to whatever type of information is coming back and forth. So port number 21 is file transfer, 80 is websites, and so on. Now what makes netstat good, or a unique utility, is that we can actually go in and see what programs are running that are connected to the internet. And so you can see here the only thing we have that's connected to the internet right now is Firefox, which is perfect. But if you were to come on here and you were to see a whole bunch of files that you have no idea what they are, and they're connecting to the internet, and your internet's slow, you probably want to look into them. You probably want to write down the file names, like here we have firefox.exe, and Google them. And this is an excellent tool for finding out if you have a virus that's connecting to the internet, or ad software that's connecting to the internet. So it's a good tool to use as far as diagnosing is concerned. And if we just type in netstat space and a question mark, you can see all the things that we can do. You can display all connections and listening ports, and display the executables. That's the B I just did. It displays Ethernet statistics, and so on down the line. You should really read them. Plus you can set an interval. And what this would do is this would allow you to, it would recheck every so many seconds, and this would actually be a better diagnostic tool. So what I could do is I could type in this, go B, and then hit 3 for 3 seconds. And you can see every 3 seconds 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And what you can do is leave that and then come back here and just, do all your browsing. And then you can always come back here to see, has anything changed? Has anything connected that's different? Right now you see that the Ash web service is connecting. Well, I know that that's my virus checker, so I don't really have to worry about that. But you can also scroll back up and down through this to check this out, to see what is connecting to the internet and what is not connecting to the internet. And if you have like a wireless system, I don't know, you wouldn't be able to use it for that. But this will let you check your own PC as far as what's going on. Now there are other utilities that you can use that are more comprehensive, and on the next video I'll take you through some of them. Okay, this is Learning Engineer. I'm Michael Langdon, and have a good day.